Welcome back, everybody. Thursday night political hot seat. There is no candidates tonight, and this will probably be our last show for quite a period of time until maybe the next elections. And anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching and everybody for calling. And this is a live call-in show, 727-8750. What we're going to do tonight is we'll go over some of the, how the election came out and who got voted in, and you can call in and voice your opinion as long as you're not bashing people or saying anything improper. I also have Harley Kulkin here tonight to go over it with me. And this is open to all candidates, if you won or if you didn't win, to come in and thank the people who campaigned for you, helped you put up signs, donated money, or whichever. This is just the end of the political season for this year. And then I hope who you voted for won. If not, you can call in about that too. So anyway, it is a live call-in show. Tonight we're just going to discuss some of the things like the ballot questions and who won what race. And so Harley's here, and I want to thank Harley for being here. Thank you, Harley, for coming in.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
It's been a while, you know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Anyway, y'all call in if you're out there watching and ask if you wish. So anyway, town board, you guys are phasing yourselves out, right?
Well, no, the county phased us out and the voters.
Well, I mean,
only in Pahrump would the voting public actually vote to get rid of their right to vote for who represents them. You know, it's like, totally backwards, right? Our country was founded on the principle we want representation, but Pahrumpians vote to get rid of it. Go figure.
Well,
must be something in the water, huh?
Obviously, that's what they must have felt. But it's being phased out. I mean, you guys are going through steps, right?
Well, the county's really being very, let's put it this way. I mean, policy and direction by the county are set by the county commissioners, and nothing's happening. They're very closed-lipped about what they plan for the town of Pahrump. The people simply voted to get rid of the elected town board. That means that the government entity of the unincorporated town of Pahrump still exists. It's a separate government entity. The county cannot commingle funds. The county's over $10 million in the hole. Years ago, when the PET money started, payment equal to taxes, the county got $55 million lump sum, and they were only going to spend the interest, but they've nickel and dimed it way. They were $10 million short, and I heard that they took $7 million out of what they had left, which means they're probably next to nothing left now. They pay to the 10, but they're still $3 million short. Well, the county has a reserve of funds. They cannot touch any of it. The only thing that's going to change is the county commissioners can make some opinions of where money gets spent. But keep in mind that the current town board placed a budget in place, and it doesn't expire till June 30th next year. So, and that's filed with the state. So they can't just say, well, forget that, we're going to do this. You can't do it. So things are going to stay the way they are. But the difference is the county now has the opportunity to dissolve the unincorporated town of Pahrump. And that means now they own everything. And they can do whatever they want with the money. And they've never been pro-development in this valley. They can say whatever they want, but anybody that's been elected to office knows that if you want something to happen, you vote yes. And if you have concerns, you say contingent upon wherever the concerns are, or you say, I want to see this happen or whatever. But when you vote no, you don't really want it to happen. And the counties constantly vote no. The epitome of the county's anti-progress would be when they voted down the $4.5 million sewage treatment plant gift from the racetrack, and coupled with that would mean that power, water, and sewer now would be on the fairgrounds because they wanted to give it to the fairgrounds, and with the parking lot and the fenced-in area, that could turn into a money-making enterprise. So still, a better idea, according to Commissioner Cox, would be to buy the Binion property, tear everything down, and build some kind of fairgrounds over there. What we wanted to build was actually a money-making enterprise, aside from a fairgrounds, that would bring in jobs and economic development through tourism and so on. And so, when government's a business, like I always say, and it's important that you create assets before you create liabilities. So all the county has done is raise taxes, right? They raised the sales tax. They raised. They're going to ask the state next year to raise the property tax above the cap that's already statewide and put in place by the state because they're so mismanaged funds. And so some people might think that I should just be really, brown-nosing the county, but no, thank you. I always been telling them the truth. It's a horribly run organization, and in my opinion, the failures in life come to Pahrump, and they get into power, and they get into the county government, and that they've never amounted to nothing nowhere, and so they're protecting themselves by keeping especially Pahrump an economically challenged place, because it's not desirable to a lot of things that normally would be to a town that's successful.
Well, I know that something's going to have to be done pretty soon. There, you know, things are going to be, I don't even really know. How about town ordinances? That was brought up during the political season in the last 9 months about town ordinances. Are they gone now?
No, because like I said.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, until the unincorporated town of Pahrump is gone, then that's a government entity. It stays.
Once a county takes over, would it be county ordinances?
No, because the unincorporated town of Pahrump still exists. The only thing that changes is who makes the final decision, not the form of government. The town of Pahrump is an unincorporated town of Pahrump. That stays in place. Nothing changes.
Right.
The only thing that changes is who's the final opinion, which will be the county commissioner instead of an elected town board.
Because most town ordinances was passed by the town board, and if they say there is no town board.
No, but it's passed for the unincorporated town of Pahrump. So,
okay.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't want them all confused about if it's a county ordinance or a town ordinance or.
Yeah, so it'll still stay the same. It's the only thing that changes, of course, the county commissioner is going to make some changes as far as department heads if they wanted to. You know, the town manager. I mean, they're in charge now.
Yeah, well, I was told by different ones that basically all the employees will remain.
Well, they say a lot of stuff, but they weren't never willing to, which I called for publicly, to tell all the town employees, you know, via like a letter to all of them that they didn't have to worry about their future or whatever, and they haven't done it. They haven't done anything. None of the commissioners have come around and asked any of the department heads, how does your operation run, to get familiar with things. They haven't a clue to what's going on, so that shows you how much they really care.
When does all this happen?
January, I don't remember now, January 5th, I think is. Something like that is the last date at
Well, I guess somebody tied in with the county commissioners should probably start doing something, because it's going to be a big takeover. I mean, it's not just going to be something where I'll get to it Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, they as an you know, they have the option of creating an advisory board.
Right.
And the advisory board would be the ones that could be liaisons to the advisory boards that the town has. The town board has a lot of advisory boards.
I mean, you guys don't leave until January 5th. If you're going to have an advisory board, you're going to need it like within the next week or two.
Well, they should be putting all this together, but like I said, they haven't publicly come out with any plan or nothing. They haven't said anything. And I've individually talked to commissioners, and there seems to be some, you know, one will say, yeah, well, everything will stay in place, and then another one, well, you know, one of them was wanting to get rid of the fire department and I mean the ambulance, you know, privatize it. Well, years ago, the town was looking at privatizing the ambulance service. Sure, you can hire somebody, and they want a guaranteed profit, so it'll end up costing you more money. So to speak, we're a nonprofit. Government's always a nonprofit organization, so to speak. It's not there to make a profit.
Right.
So when you privatize something, like some people seem to think we should privatize everything, they're there to make money. So what they do is, like, I used to work at the China Lake Naval Weapons Center, and there was some kind of a government law thing called A76, and what happened was every 5 years, like, my foreman would have to bid for the job. Well, in our case, we bid it successfully and we kept the job. But some other departments in engineering lost their job. So what happened is that for like, I can't remember now, it's been a while, I don't remember, it's like 3 years or 5 years. Anyway, someone would win the contract. And then what would happen is that they would do a mediocre job because they're in it for profit. And then near the end of it, they would let everything go bad, and then the government would take over and everything is bad. So make a long story short, the government basically end up spending way more money than they would have if they just constantly took care of something instead of farming it out for, you know, a while. So.
Well, you know, we're here in Pahrump, and it's been done, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how this irons out. When are you going to put in to be on the advisory board or not?
Well, I'll be wasting my time, just like when my fellow town board members voted that I should be on the planning commission, and all the commissioners voted against me being on there.
Oh.
So even though they manipulate the RPC by putting everybody else on it, they were afraid to have one person on there that they couldn't control.
No.
And I don't have any, you know me, Bill. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you look at the backgrounds of those county commissioners, some of them, and they're worthless. They're not successful in their own personal lives, and it's amazing that they'd be making decisions about multi-million-dollar budgets. And it's even more amazing people would put them in the office in the first place.
Well,
you know, but we live in an age of information. You go on a computer and you can find out all kinds of stuff. We live in a little town. It's very easy to find out the backgrounds of people if you get to get off of Facebook and a few things and take your time and do a little research. But I mean, that's not important to people. So then they sit around and complain about their government and everything else. And what is government? It's the people they voted to put in office. So who's really at fault? The people that got in office or the people that put them there? Obviously, the people that put them there is at fault where our country is at today.
Well, that's why I said we could always remove them if you want to remove them, but some people, they're just happy with who they got in and what they want, and so. Well,
I'll tell you what, Bill, a friend of mine in the mental health business in Vegas says that the average intelligence in the United States of America is that of a 13-year-old. Well, you won't have me arguing with him. He said that's an actual fact.
Well, once again, I want to. This show tonight is the last show, and this show tonight is for any candidates who wish to come on. If you won or lost, come in and thank the people who helped you campaign, put up signs, donated, whatever. This is a live call-in show at 727-8750, and anybody could call in. I think if I was a candidate, I would probably show up just to thank the people if I won or lost.
Well, having run a couple times, run a couple times and lost a few times.
Yeah.
Usually today you're feeling pretty depressed. It's going to take a little bit.
Well, the thing is,
for people who want to get out. But
and I know how difficult it is to go through that. Well, let's see, I've been having this show for 9 months, and I've had a lot of great people on here. So. Some people didn't show up. I don't know why. They just didn't think they could trust me. But, I've never bashed or attacked anybody.
No, you're always very neutral. Very fair person.
I don't care what party they belong to. I don't care if I agreed with what they were saying or not. I would let the callers call in. And but now things are going to change a bit. So, what do you think on those state ballot questions?
Well, I was, there's 3 of them about raising taxes, so to speak, a little bit. And then I was amazed, Nevada ranks the worst state in the nation on everything. Mining and gaming. Don't take my word for it. Go on the internet and look. You will see that mining and gaming in the state of Nevada pay less taxes than anywhere else on the planet. Less than any other state, any other country, any others. So take mining. Mining is exploiting the Nevada's natural resources. I mean, they're going to run out someday. And we're number 50 in education. We're number 48 in healthcare. I mean, we're at the bottom of everything. And people vote to not make those people pay their fair share.
Don't get riled up too much. We need to go to a break. We'll be right back.
A break?
Keep that on
we
your
just
mind.
got started, Bill.
I know. You're just getting warmed up, so we better go on a break first. See you after this message.